I hear you on that. I do. We'll come back to some more Chelsea stuff and some more super chats in a bit. KJ, a a massive win, a sensational win in terms of how it was done, but another very hard day in the office for Man United today. How are you feeling now, kind of 30 minutes since the end of that game?
Like this. um, it's a frustrating. It's a beautiful win when you win it last minute, 2 goals in the dying moments of the game. Like you love that. But then when that is on top of the way that we played, it just takes it away from me. It's like, for me personally, I'm happy we got the 3 points, but we get the 3 points and move on and focus on getting better, because that entire game we weren't good enough for the most of it. We get to the final third, we have the ball, but there's not really much going on with it. We cross it in, hitting the first man most of the time, not finding our players. It's one of those ones where it's like we just need to improve. We need to get better. And personally, Ten Hag trying to make us play progressive football, I respect him, but for that, but you know what? Stop it. Let's stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop pressing high. Stop the high line. Stop the possession. Stop it. I don't care no more. I just want to see goals and wins. And we, over the last few years, have scored the most goals and got the most wins when we play counter-attacking transition football. Now, where we as a fan base get sucked in is that all the other fans are there laughing at us, making fun of us, making jokes because we play a certain way of football. But when we were finishing second with Jose, when we finished second with Ollie, when we were getting third and winning Carabao Cup with Ten Hag, we had the last laugh because we ended up on top of most of the teams that were making fun of us. Now we're trying to transition into this style of play, and it's just not working for us. And I'm tired. But personally, I'm tired. I would like to see us go back to more counter-attacking football, because most of our players suit that way. And yeah, like, this win is good. Happy that we won. We've got some changes to make, and hopefully Ten Hag can change it, because it's looking a bit sticky for him, not gonna lie. Like, honestly, part of me is just like, just sack him, just get it over and done with. Not because I want him sacked, just because I know it's coming, just get it over and done with. Rip off the band-aid now, and then deal with it then. But
Dizzy, do you agree with this? Should Man United change back to how we played last year, or should we continue with what the manager's trying to do, his identity that he's trying to create?
You know what it is for me personally. Today, I think I'll answer your question, but really quickly onto what KJ's was saying. For me, today's game, if it come on the back of 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of us playing dominant football, winning comfortably and playing very well, today would have gassed me. I would have felt on top of the world because you played terribly and then you managed to pull through and win. But when you're going off of, we're 10 games into the season and we've lost 6 of them. Every game that we've won looks shaky at best. It doesn't feel great when you pull through despite your performance. But as far as what Ten Hag should do, I think, like you said, Terry, I don't know what system he needs to go with, but I think he needs to set out the stall of, if you're playing badly, just like we did with the Sancho thing, if we're saying that United standards are X, and I will accept nothing less than United standards, regardless of who the player is, regardless of how important they've been to us, if they're playing badly, they need to sit on the bench. Regardless of their stature, they need to sit on the bench. If it's Rashford, if he's going 4 or 5 weeks without a goal, if he's dropping his shoulder, dropping his head, he's walking around without pressing his man after the first 25 minutes, sit on the bench. And it looks like he's getting increasingly frustrated with him. If it's Casemiro, if he's having stinker after stinker, come sit on the bench. And he's took him off today again. I think that's the second or third game that he's taken him off now. What's it called? If it's Fernandez and he's doing nothing for the whole game, come sit on the bench. That will make all the players out on the bench feel like I have a legitimate chance to get on this pitch. Because if you feel like you don't have a chance, regardless of what your professional standards are and, you know, the quality of the player, if you don't have no confidence that your manager trusts you, you won't perform when you get on the pitch. And I feel like for the betterment of everybody, he needs to show that if you're playing badly, come sit on the bench. If you want a chance, go prove it on the pitch on game day and show us what you can do. And if you can't do that, then we'll see you later. That's how I feel.
Mate, I think a lot of people would agree with you. There is a lack of meritocracy at Man United right now, and everyone listen. And do you know what it does as well? It enables people to fan the flame of their agendas. So I don't think Rashford and Bruno are overtly bad footballers. I don't. I think they're playing poorly right now. What this leads to is I knew they were always this bad, and I don't necessarily think it's that. You should have took Rashford out of the firing line 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, and given somebody else. I don't really care who. I would have started Martial. I think Martial's looked so sharp in the last 2 or 3, 4 games that he's come on. You give him an opportunity on the left, not as a striker. He's never been a fucking striker. He's fanboy's full set agenda. He never has been one. He's a left-sided attacker for me. That's where he's brilliant. But you are right. That was a bit the performance per se didn't bother me today as much as the starting lineup did. And I'm someone, I tell you, I'm not a starting lineup merchant. I'm not someone who normally moans about it. But seeing Onana, seeing Casemiro, seeing Rashford, seeing Bruno on the right, especially, seeing all of those guys start, I sat there and thought to myself, what the hell is he doing?
Bro, and you know what the maddest part about it is? At this point, now I feel sorry for Onana. Because you had the goalkeeping coach come out, I think it was either last week or the week before, saying, this is a fantastic goalkeeper, but his confidence is absolutely shot. And we need to work with him to figure out how to get his confidence back.
But who comes in if you drop him, though? Who comes in if you drop him?
Here's the thing. One, I'll answer that question. He bought another, He bought another goalkeeper this summer. If you don't trust him, why are you buying him? That's one. And then two, in the event that he makes a mistake when his confidence is on the floor, which invariably it is at the moment, and he has made a mistake again today, if we weren't saved from that game by McTominay, Onana is on the spotlight again for another mistake that he's made, and his confidence cannot do anything but go even further down than where he is at the moment. So I feel like the man management part of what I loved about Ten Hag when he first came in is missing at the moment, and I don't know how to fix it, to be honest, other than meritocracy, like you said.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Staffy, a lot of people came for you earlier on this summer when you spoke about Casemiro, and although I may not necessarily agree that we should I don't necessarily think that we should sell him because I still think there's a player in there, but he certainly shouldn't be playing for Man United right now. He certainly shouldn't be starting these games because although Onana's save was horrendous, it was Casemiro again that left us in a poor position for that goal. How frustrated are you at the same players that are underperforming continuing to start in this Man United team?
I'm glad you asked me that question in that way because I was going to come in and hold my hand up on Onana because, Dizzy said it perfectly. His confidence is shot. He's not that bad of a goalkeeper. I understand people like to banter. They like to make fun. He wasn't making these mistakes last season. To be very honest, his confidence is just on the floor right now. Should he have been dropped? We can have this conversation because he made a mistake. But I'm so happy that you said it that way, Terry. Oh my God, the amount of hate that I've gotten since that Casemiro clip. If you go to my Twitter, I'm so proud of that clip that I got abused for to the point that I pinned it on my Twitter profile. You can go there and continue your slander because I've gotten proven again that this guy on the pitch, this is not a disrespect to his legacy, by the way, and his resume and his 5 Champions Leagues. That's not what I'm talking about. For this team, he's not good. He's not doing what the manager wants. And today, yet again, he proved it. And this is why I'm saying when he came off at the second half, Ten Hag's usually stubborn. I was surprised that he did that. I was like, wow, finally Ten Hag is seeing some of the things that I was hoping that he sees. And he did it perfectly today. Took him out, played Eriksen. I'm more than happy to play Eriksen for 45 minutes. I keep saying this, and I'll say it again. Casemiro, brilliant player, brilliant career. But what we need in that midfield, he's not that guy. He's not that guy. Dizzy, after the 3-0 win, was waiting for me to give him props. I gave him props. But you know what it was? It was one-off. And he's back to doing his own thing again. He gives away the ball. Onana, yes, you put me in the mud for that save. But Casemiro, game in, game out, is proving that he shouldn't be starting. He shouldn't be a part of how Ten Hag is trying to play this football because he's not good enough to play that way of football. The more you give him the ball, the more he makes mistakes, the more we make these errors. And I feel like the more errors that are going around from our players, especially the experienced ones, is affecting everyone. Onana's already been infected. I'm hoping no one else gets infected after this because we're trying to fix him. I don't want more players getting infected with the low confidence. So after the international break, Casemiro, I love you. You can sit on the bench, bring your Champions League medals all you want. We're all 5 of them that people keep talking about. Bring them to the bench. I don't care. But after the international break, I don't want to see this guy starting anymore. He has a part of the squad for the rest of the season. In the summer, as I said, I'm gonna call my cousins in Saudi. I'm gonna try to hook us up with a deal. 60 million, 70 million, get this guy off. Thank you for the first season. Second season, you no longer have use. Kobe Mano in 2 weeks. You should be ready. Please save me, man, because I don't want to watch this horrendous
You can't put
midfield
that pressure
football
on
anymore.
an 18-year-old dude.
I'm putting all the pressure on this guy because I already know that he could at least, you know what, Cam, if him making a pass in the midfield is pressure, then it's okay. I think he can cope.
Yeah, but
because all I need is this guy to come in and just pass the ball in the midfield. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for goals. I'm not asking for assists. I'm not asking for man of the match performances. I'm just asking for a midfielder that comes in and you give him the ball under pressure and he can make the right pass.
Yeah,
that's it. So I don't think that's a lot to ask for.
Do you know what's interesting about it? It's like Casemiro is playing far too advanced for me. Last season,
he's always been like that, Terry. He's always been like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but last season where he was sensational for us, this guy was sitting deep, breaking up play, moving the ball in. Again, we weren't playing the same way. He's now further up. And again, I didn't think Amrabat had an amazing game today, but I didn't think he was. Again, Amrabat improved when we made the subs and we made the changes and when we created more width and we were more balanced. Like everybody, it's a team sport. But Cass, for me, it's if you're not going to play him as the six that breaks up play and then just play simple passes into the others. I don't.
Well, that's not what he's ever done, Terry. That's the thing. I don't mind him playing advanced. That's the thing. You think I have an issue with him playing advanced? I actually want him advanced. I don't want him.
It's the first phase of play that you don't like him in.
Yeah, he's not comfortable there. He's not comfortable there.
Because today, what was the mess up today? He wasn't bad today because he gave up the ball in the final third or he was too advanced. He was in front of our box and he made that mistake. And that's the place I don't want him in. Amrabat is good, but I don't think the more I'm starting to watch him, I don't think he's that good to do a two people's job, which is not a shame on Amrabat. Maybe he could become that eventually. I know, he's not that old and he's not that young, but he does have room to develop. In a year, it could be a very good lone six.
What are you saying you want him in a pivot? Are you saying you want Amrabat in a pivot?
Yeah,
well, technically today he was in a pivot, but
I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Chelsea.
He was in a pivot with Casemiro, and then Bruno was playing the 10, so we kind of switched it up a little bit. But Casemiro is consistently going to have these errors, and I don't think Amrabat can have all the load on his own for now. No, go ahead, Terry. That's just
the thing with a double pivot is this: if you play two players, and Man United have done this before, that are outright like DMs, then it can be problematic against the lesser teams. But what we actually did in games recently, where Mount was part of a double pivot, but he was more advanced, he played more of an 8. That's fine. I think in games like today, if you play Amrabat with another central midfielder next to him, but the other guy advances and Amrabat just sits back and shields the back line, there's not going to be much of a problem. And again today, look, they're a great counter-attack team, Brentford. We all know that. They've lost Ivan Toney, they ain't got the finisher. I didn't feel that threatened by them that often on the counter again today. I didn't. I weren't sitting there going, oh my God, every time they went forward, I wasn't. And by the way, we had not one first team defender fit today. We had Lindelof playing at left back, sorry. We had Johnny Evans. By the way, he actually had a really good game today.
Evans and Maguire both had decent games.
I just find it so funny. Terry, when Johnny Evans was in his prime, I was in secondary school, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? And this guy's back at your club. It's just hilarious.
I know.
This is the maddest part about it. Like, so considering all of that, I wasn't sitting there all the game going, oh my God, we're going to concede again in a minute. Now, when we were really throwing men forward towards the last 10 minutes, Onana was forced into some of those saves from corners, but you expect that at that stage of a game when you're throwing everything forward. But we weren't sort of sitting there like being peppered, and I weren't really worried, and that's why we could advance people. The other issue that I have with the way we're trying to play, and again, we're very static. We stand still, and I'm sitting there.
No runs.
And I'm like, who's making? And again, Garnacho came on and he makes runs. Anthony, I know he isn't the best, but he tries to run off the shoulders. He comes deep for the ball. He's pointing where the other people should run. This is what's crazy. Exactly. Like, we need to improve on some of these people, but the manager for me is accountable for this because he keeps picking the guys that make us static. We look like we're stuck in the mud.